Welcome to Discipline and Desire. Hey, when there's a will, there's a way. And when you will it, it will be. Today, finally, I was able to connect with my man, my guy, the smart guy, who made things work, adjusting schedules. You'll hear it when we do the intro. I just want to put that out there. We'll be traveling. We'll be doing a lot more live content. Interviews on the go, interviews with my Uber drivers, you name it, it's gonna be, as we get to share each other's worlds and get to enjoy this thing we call life. Before we jump into the episode, I do think and know and feel that it's important to be present and to do our breath work daily, in the morning, midday, and before you enter rest. So, before we consume, before we are entertained, before we are inspired by this next episode, let's do our breath work. Breathe with me. We're going to do our typical 4-second inhale, 4-second pause, 6-second exhale. Breathe with me. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. And I'll let you do this last one by yourself. Hey, thank you for playing with me. If you like the content, subscribe. If you love the content, share with others. Comment, let me know how this has touched you, motivated you. And if you want to be a guest, hit me up, DM me, and we'll make that happen. So, here it is. Without further ado, the talk with the smart guy. Hey. To finally get to this wonderful place in life to where acceptance is surrender, and surrender is just one's power. Here we are. I appreciate this time, my brother. For those that don't know, this is Discipline and Desire. I am your host, Lawrence, or Lorian, Tomato. I have the wonderful opportunity to have a conversation with a brother of mine who sparked an amazing conversation on social media that does what illuminators do. It forces folks, and let me stop using the word force because that sounds domineering, and some folks don't like that. So it encourages folks to see themselves as light does in darkness. Sam, or as many know him as the smart guy, welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Welcome to the show.
For those that don't know, Sam is a comedian. He's an artist. As we decided to hit record, he was getting on me, calling me bougie, and I love it. We'll talk more about that. But my man Sam is a man of many talents, many journeys. And we're still learning. We're still growing. Sam, who are you?
Sir.
If the world was to want to know in a short or long blurb, it's your world. Who are you? Or who do you least want them to know you as?
I am an enigma.
Hey.
I am the original AI, the Google plus plus,
Hey.
the information plus the application.
Hey. I love it. I love it. I love it. And this is why you're
I
on.
love
For
I
those that
appreciate it, man.
absolutely, man, absolutely, long time coming, and it's funny, but not because you know how irony and synchronicities go. I think it
Yeah,
was last week you actually gave me the idea. Now that I'm taking this new path of utilizing my time and fueling the system to where others can transport me. You were like, why don't you start using that opportunity with your content? And I
yeah.
pinned it. And I did that day, but not as we're doing now. So many
Nice.
don't know, as an entrepreneur, as yourself, as again, a man of many journeys, you are en route right now, a route that you take often. And I think it was great that we're in a way to where technology allows us to capture moments while moments are
Absolutely.
happening. So I know you're going to be safe while driving. But yeah, my man is
Yes, sir.
driving right now from Philly to his new home. We'll leave that to be
To
private.
be continued. Yeah, nobody reveals the back cage.
That way, that way. But let's just know that he has roots all over this world,
I love
and
it.
he will be performing very soon. I would like to get that out of the way because I am going to be supporting you at one of these events. But please, let's get these plugs in early before we jump into our topic.
Awesome. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Smart Guy, and I'm a neurodivergent comedian. I'm autistic, and I love to bring clarity and fun to people's lives. Show is December 6th in Philadelphia. If you're on Instagram, you could hit me on Smart Guy Talks, or if you're on Facebook, you hit me on Samuel Washington. I can make sure you get your tickets, and I hope to see your face in the place.
Absolutely, absolutely. I
Seven
love it.
o'clock show.
7 o'clock
Yeah,
show. And again, I will be in the building, and it's going to be an amazing, reflective, funny, any other superlative and adjective you want to add event. It's going to be amazing.
hey,
Looking forward to it, my
it's
brother.
gonna be fire.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you for the plug. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So, a couple weeks ago, one of our amazing conversations, we were having church,
Yep.
and you hit me with this question. You were like, how much time have you spent helping others in comparison to healing and helping yourself?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, you didn't even have to finish that question when you just the first part. How much time have you spent helping others? That forced me to pause in a way that was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was truthful, it was honest, it was loving, it was everything that I needed it to be. And it really just aided and added to the trajectory that I was on, and understanding that this healing, while ongoing, is internal, and it cannot be done if one is constantly pouring out of a resource that he doesn't or she doesn't have.
Yeah.
Doesn't
It's
work.
funny. You know how I got to that question? It didn't come through osmosis, and I know God makes me look much smarter than sometimes I believe that I am. But and people are afraid to start their lives over. Like I'm on my fourth life right now.
mm, mm,
But and being tired and taking care of everyone else, it forced me to sit in my silence and ask myself that question because nobody reached back to take care of me. I was the one taking care of everybody else. And it was necessary because I was burned out, as many people that listen to this podcast sometimes can find themselves. And you got to ask yourself, out of all the time that I've been taking care of everyone else, how much time have I devoted to take care of myself? And make it fair.
mm, mm.
Because people are so easy, they quick to say, "Oh, you're just being selfish." How is it selfish to take care of yourself if no one else seems to care about it? I mean,
That part.
we didn't are we supposed to be martyrs? I don't want to be that old man. Like, I don't know if you saw on TikTok. he crying in the rain, yelling and screaming. He's tired. How many guys? How many of us really do that internally before we got the car and go in the house?
mm, mm.
We
Oh,
make it's because we make it look good. Don't mean it ain't heavy.
that part. Impersonating, acting, running away from our feelings. Yeah. And that's what we're going to go into today. We're going to go in much deeper. The mental
Yeah.
reset. Why choosing yourself isn't selfish, but it's sacred. Such a difference. Two S words, but oh, what a difference. We're going to discuss the physical connection, how movement, diet, and discipline shape your inner peace, the emotional work, the power of apology to self and to those we've hurt, the spiritual
Mm,
alignment piece, owning your actions as you just were discussing, your thoughts and your energy. This one's going to be one of my favorites. One of my philosophers of long time, Troy Terrain, he used to always say 90% of males are not men. We're not going to focus
mm,
on that judgment and that comparison, but we are going to focus on the male versus man distinction, like
mm.
evolving beyond distraction, rage, and false masculinity. And then finally, healing as leadership, because healed men heal families, communities, and nation. I want to make sure, as we already mentioned, but we're going to keep mentioning this again because this is about peace. This episode isn't about blame, it's about ownership. And that's what the Obsidian Pill understanding of manhood is all about, choosing mastery over victimhood. And what a wonderful opportunity that that mastery starts within, with ourselves. You had mentioned what got you to your landing. So the question is, what steps did you begin taking after that to get you where you needed to get to on your journey?
Uh, I had one of the things that I tell people, you cannot dissect anything until it's dead.
Hmm.
Because if you try, if you try, you'll be a murderer. After having the relationships that I've had, family and outside of that, I had to account. Everyone is not to be blamed. You have to accept some of the blame for yourself, the part you played in it. And the part that I arrived at is that I grew up without having boundaries. I was taught to please people, taught to be helpful, but no one taught me how to take care of myself. So the first thing I did was I had to start setting boundaries, not be always available, and not thinking it's selfish because you need time to take care of yourself and to recharge your battery.
Mm.
That's a start. That was a start. And then it just built upon that afterwards. You start to see the different things that you need and taking time for yourself. Oh, I didn't know I needed the morning to myself without having the conversation because I'm not all together yet, or I might be thinking about issues that people jumped my lap the day before,
Yeah.
namely family.
Mm.
you know, and
Mm.
then you gotta separate what belongs to you as ownership and what belongs to other people, because some things are not for you to do.
That makes me think of one of my favorite philosophers, Epictetus. His whole philosophy is around control what you can control. And to your point, if we're programmed, shown over and over and over and over again, a way of being which eliminates our boundaries, which eliminates our ability to choose, our ability to even say no, you can see how many people can find themselves caught up in that same cycle, that same loop,
Sure.
until they realize that this is not it. Or like you said, they get burnt out or whatever happens to where they have that aha moment. And then they have to begin accepting this is what it is versus accepting, but this is what I want. It makes me think like you can't save people from a fire you're still standing in. And that's why if all the conversations that you and I have had, if one is so distracted, one will not even know where one is. If one is not rooted, if one is not centered, one could be talked out of their clothes. One could be put into a hypnotic trance. One can
Yeah.
just dot dot dot. So yeah, it all
Isn't
starts
that
with
what
self.
love is?
What was that?
That's what love is, a trance, right? Isn't that what love is, a
Ah,
trance?
absolutely.
You're saying yes to everything.
Yeah, and see, and that goes into that philosophy of ownership, right? Like
Yeah,
even that, like love. We have songs about it. We have art about it. We have wars were created because of it. Love is everything. But in that ownership of what it is for you and how it will dictate your world and how you connect to it naturally, how your sovereignty connects to it, how you integrate to it, like that is all of our responsibility. But in that
yep,
responsibility also comes the ownership of knowing what comes or what could come with certain types of love. And I think that's why one of the philosophies of one of the master teachers were to love your God or love your neighbor as you love yourself.
yes,
And so many people forget about that as you love yourself part.
yeah,
Because if you're
yeah.
not taking care of yourself, if you're not loving yourself, if you're not healing yourself, how can you do anything accurately from that Care Bear love space? You just can't.
Well, you got to backtrack because first of all, that process will sometimes bring you to the point that you really don't know yourself
Mm, agreed.
because we've been groomed so long to play humble that sometimes, and I gotta say this slow because I do this in my show. I can't be as crass because this is being recorded. You forget who the heck you are, and people forget that you're really him. And
Hmm.
when you got to run down your whole list of accomplishments, like yeah, I almost forgot that I am him
Mm, mm,
because you know when people need stuff from you, they don't care about you. They just care about what they can get from you,
mm.
and they're advantageous uh, for you not to know who you are. Because like you said, they'll dance circles around you, have you all mesmerized, thinking they love you. They don't even like you. They're in competition with you. You just don't know it.
Yeah. And if you're not centered, you won't be able to pick up on what you're picking up on.
That's right.
And then it's
It
like
starts with the center.
yeah, and you get that opportunity to then choose for yourself still how you will proceed. Because when you realize what the game is, when you realize that this is
Yes.
your game, everything changes. Yeah, I love it. The work within.
Everything they say it's a game. It's all cool if you're playing with Monopoly money.
Yeah.
If you swapping pieces and buying property, you know, bypassing jail, collecting $200 and you got to go in. But in real life, all those things are those factors are in play.
Yeah. And it's funny, they're in play, you know how I go. They're in play and they're not. So it's like in that mindset, we have to allow ourselves to see what we choose to see. And then admit that others may not see what we see. But there is where we get to do the work within. So then our
Yep.
presence allows them to see for themselves what could be a way. And that work within, I think I like the pivot starts in many spaces. It starts with first the idea, the thought, right? Going again to your scenario, you landed where you landed and was like, wait a minute. And then that thought allowed you to start pivoting. I know for myself, one of my gauges is my fitness and my mobility. If I
Mm,
start feeling within myself that I am not myself, like if I find myself walking up a flight of steps and I forever, for whatever reason, get tired, I'm like, oh hell no. Like, what is up with that? There is something off. What have we not been doing? And then we just go through our checklist of, yeah, we have been skipping our walks, we have been skipping our cardio. But fitness and mobility is so important. And then one finds one tribe.
yeah.
For those that go to a gym, for those that go who do whatever you do, if you hike, like you see your tribe, and that just gives you that proper rest because of that reflection. You're seeing other versions of you, like connecting with dope people like yourself. I'm able to get my mental rest because I'm able to have that type of reflection that fuels and feeds my body and my mind. What
Well,
are some
shit.
other ways that you relearn or you fuel yourself through play, creativity, and nature?
Nature is it. I walk,
Mm,
I take my walks, walk by the lake, and I don't have like we talk about cadence. I don't have a set time. I just go, you know, I clear my mind.
mm,
I don't think, I just think about where I'm at, how I feel. Like you said, your body, your physicality, um, even to your diet. You could tell when things are off.
yeah,
Well, with me, if I'm not in quiet and silence, I can't write. I like to do my material when I'm by myself. So that's my creative time, and that's sacred. And my friends know there are certain times that I can't be bothered, and sometimes you gotta enforce it, like do not disturb.
mm-hmm,
You gotta enforce your own boundaries and make people stand by. Because once they start to see what your pattern is, it's not personal. It's personal for me that I need it, but it's not personal. I don't have beef with anyone else. When they see that you're taking those precautions because of your need, then they'll be more gracious to you. But how would anyone know unless you articulate it?
agreed, agreed. I love that, and I think that's a nice segue into the idea of vulnerability, because I feel that vulnerability is one of the reasons why folks don't admit and share what it is that they're going through, how it is that they're feeling, how something might have landed that might have not been the intention, but if you don't ever bring it up, how can one ever receive clarity on it? So it makes me think of the importance of vulnerability, but also the importance of brotherhood and or sisterhood. So in
Right.
your experience, the value of men's circles and tribe, like how important is that to you?
Uh, in short, is extremely important. Back in the day, we had the barbershops,
Mm,
the real ones, the old men. We talk. They would talk about current events, talk about politics, rights. It was our rites of passage. You know what I mean? The young men got information and camaraderie. But gone are the days of the old straps, and the conversations are few and far between because we're not being vulnerable enough because we weren't taught to. They said real men don't cry. That's a lie.
mm, mm,
you might not you might not see it, but we do cry
mm-hmm.
because to say we don't cry would make us not human and very dangerous if a man doesn't cry because then you see people on first 48 they don't cry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But vulnerability, life has taught us that you can't be vulnerable around everyone. You can't be vulnerable with everyone. And I took a long time in certain things that I was going through before I shared it because it was still vulnerable. I wasn't only afterwards, I'm able to articulate and talk about it. So some people may have a process, they need to talk right then and there, they need to vent. Well, you have to be careful who you vent to because you don't know who's, I said the vents go into other rooms. As I said, I saw that post put up a while ago. You got to be careful who you vent to because vents go to other rooms.
Mm-hmm.
It's just finding a safe place. And I think that the only way that you're going to provide that is if you're doing what we're doing right now. We're having the candid conversation, and whoever it lands on, it's going to help. So hopefully that will spark the conversation to begin and continue what we've started today. I'm grateful that I'm even part of this.
Hey, absolutely. Likewise, my brother. And if I can add to that, it also makes me think about what happens when one performs masculinity instead of embodying masculinity. And we live in a world where everyone wants to tell everyone how to be. We have men telling men how to be alphas or how to be sigmas or how to be betas or We have people calling people simps. We have women telling men how to be men. We have men telling women how to be women. It's you can see all again these distractions, how hard it could be for people to just silence the noise and then admit what it is that they're feeling within themselves. But if we, I'm a fan of silence and isolation, but this is where isolation can
Sure.
somewhat be dangerous if we're not having outlets like crying. Crying is a
Yeah.
natural biological outlet to release. It feels
Yep.
good. Our God who created us would not have given us this mechanism, this release valve, had it not been necessary.
Right.
So when we do ignore that and we block that we're blocking that chi, that flow, disease happens when that happens. Blockages happens when that happens. Cancers, etc., happens when that happens. So, to everyone that's listening, find your tribe, find your circle, even if that
Yeah.
circle is two folks. Even if that circle is one, you can hold hands and you still have a loop. You have a connection. And if you need to cry, there's an old shaman saying that says, let your tears, let the ground taste your tears. Like if you have to release, let it go. Because once you let it go, it's no longer yours, it's in God's hands. Now, I love that you're a comedian. And I love how I just love the power of laughter. So
It's my medicine.
when you're yay, and that's exactly what I'm talking about because laughter can open doors to healing. So for
Yeah.
yourself personally and also for your audience, like what has that experience been like for you?
For me, it's been freeing because in comedy, I found my voice.
Hmm.
Um, I always had careers where you had to do it pretty much what they tell you to do, how they tell you to do it, and your personal opinion really didn't have a lot of gravity. But it's like some find their medicine in the gym. I found mine through laughter. Um, I only talk about myself, so I tell people, you come to my show, you get offended, you get triggered, you need to see a therapist because
How you gonna be
you
mad
can't
at
get mad at
me for
somebody for talking
being
about
me?
this. Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna get you far, but it's still wherever you go, there you are.
Hmm.
So if I've pointed direction to something that you can get healed from, then I've done my job. I make it palatable. I make it, humorous, but I talk about real scenarios, real situations. Because if it wasn't just me going through it, other people have gone through it too.
Yeah, the
So
mirrors that we
maybe
are.
the things that I've learned in it can help. Yeah, we can help.
I love it.
And you'd be amazed how many people come after the show like, wow, I didn't think of it that way, or you dropped you dropped the nugget there, you dropped the gem there. I'm gonna take that and apply it. That's celebration right there
Mm.
because you've helped somebody. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That giving back piece, that yeah, tomato tomato, call it church, call it healing, call it therapy, call it what you want. But to be able to release, to express,
And,
to get thought and be motivated by it. So many things as the alchemist that you are. I think the last piece I want to
and just enjoying the
discuss,
journey.
yeah, man, it's all
Yeah.
about it. It's all about it. The last piece I want to speak about here in this vulnerability segment is the power of an apology.
Uh,
In your opinion, in your journey too, what is the significance of apology or just admitting that I'm sorry?
we gotta be careful with that. I'm sorry, John. In today's
Mm.
time, yeah. And I'm sorry is not always an apology. Now I'll shed light on it. You know, in life we make mistakes along the way, and sometimes it takes you to experience certain things to see different perspectives and vantage point. And I pray all the time that I'm allowed or given opportunity to correct, if not apologize for mistakes that I've made through whether it was immaturity, through whatever. Um, But sometimes people monetize that, like, oh, you feel bad about something that I don't even remember. Or how much that worth? So you gotta be careful with that. But realistically, when you take accountability, that says a lot about your moral fiber. It says a lot about your conscience that you don't intend to harm people. And normally people that are groomed to help are not ones to hurt intentionally. So a lot of people have a problem with accountability. They'll gaslight the hell out you rather than acknowledge that they did wrong. They'll convince you that you're crazy before they've acknowledged that they've said or done something that was ill. And just because you've apologized does not mean that you get access back to that person again. So I've forgiven people that will never have access to me again. It's no beef. It's just sometimes you showed me something that I don't need to go back and repeat again. But it's important that for yourself that you do make amends wherever possible. It says a lot about you.
Including having and being vulnerable enough to apologize to yourself. Again,
Yeah.
going back to love your neighbors, you love yourself. In all of these steps, it's inward first. So when we are even thinking about the spaces of being vulnerable with yourself, sitting with yourself, and also when it comes to those spaces of apologizing, apologize to yourself. Admitting and acknowledging, yeah, I was immature. I was 16. Or yeah, I was this. And not giving
Yeah.
excuses for it. It just is what it is. But if you have the honor, if you have the opportunity to age and to have a better understanding, to have been able to heal and to understand all that you went through to be where you are now, apologize to yourself so you can rebuild trust with yourself, with your
Yeah.
soul, and then be able to connect so much more with the world that you come in contact with. Yeah,
What
man.
you said, Bill, trust. When you have gone through different levels of trauma, you become hyper vigilant. So much so you overthink everything. You know what I mean? You're overthinking feelings. Is it real? You wait for the second shoe to drop, and you don't give yourself opportunity to be happy. Just like what I said earlier in a joke that, and it's not really a joke, it's true. People do monetize your apologies, so you got to do that for yourself as well. And I was laughing about your foot massager. That's a small thing as a king, you need things, you deserve things to make yourself feel better, help you process things. You gotta mend yourself. And that's a part of it, whether it's going to a massage, whether it's going on vacation, whether it's going on shopping sprees. You have to treat yourself and go back to trusting yourself again.
Absolutely.
Then you can let other people in.
Absolutely. I have a line in my memoir, maintenance is recovery. And vice versa,
Yes.
recovery is maintenance. So know thyself. I know my root, my foundation is important. My feet. I'm on my feet often, right? So it's like, why would I not take care of what's taking care of me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Amen. All right.
You have to.
You have to. Have to. And I think that is also where the differences happen between a male and a man. Nice segue. A male, by term and by word, is biological, right? A male is just a biological being, as a female is a biological being. But I think it's fair and it's a simple definition that a man equals a being that is spiritual, emotional, and ethical. What do you think?
I agree. There are many man-age people, but they're still boys.
Mm.
They have, but see, that's the other part. I look at this differently now that I've healed and evolved in certain ways in life. That people get frozen, male or female, in the time that they were traumatized.
Talk about it.
So that gives me a different vantage point to look at them with a different level of grace, because now I'm not looking at the age. I'm looking at I'm speaking to the age of the person that got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That's the person that's yelling out for the help. I don't care if you're 35, 50, 75. If you got hurt when you're 20, most times you get frozen at 20. So your thinking is at 20, your actions are at 20, your decision makings are at 20, and your emotions are at 20.
Mm.
So you got a bunch of children, adult age, arrested right now. My background is law enforcement, and it's a hurtful thing that you see they make mistakes or do these juvenile things, but they're thrown a book at them because they're above a certain age. Oh, you should know better. But here we are talking about trauma,
Right.
and I hope that, and I would dare say that there's a brother right now that we're talking about that's listening, that this is keen on right now. It ain't never too late. It's never over. But sometimes you got to sit with yourself and isolate yourself away from everybody else and all the noise to see where I got hurt at and start dealing with that little by little. If need be, get therapy. Don't go to the bottle because the bottle's gonna make it worse.
Mm.
I can testify that one.
Mm.
The bottle's gonna make it worse. But just sit in silence. Pray if you got to. Burn incense if you got to. Whatever you got to do to make that place sacred, even if it's in your car, you got to focus on you. If not, you're gonna self-destruct. And I hate to see that happen.
Amen. To add to that, since we do live in this digital age, to anyone that is in that transformation process or right about to enter into it, as you're evolving, ascend beyond your rage, and ascend beyond your algorithm. There's a lot of energy out there, and there's a lot of energy that should be honored. Again, I honor the red pill lessons, but that makes me think of what you were speaking about. Those people that are hurt, that still haven't been able to see beyond the hurt, beyond the getting even, beyond the dot dot dot. But when you choose
Yeah,
your elevation, you're not choosing your echo chambers. And I feel like those algorithms are just like being in that echo chamber, and you're going to always hear something that's going to resonate because it's tapping into like older spaces of you, unhealed spaces of you. Don't ignore that. But once you've
yeah.
found that you are
They
above
hurt.
that, rise above that and allow yourself to now hear what's new. I always tell folks, you don't know what you don't know. And sometimes that goes back to
Yeah,
that vulnerability piece. We want to move and think that being a man is knowing everything. No, it's not. It's accepting that you don't know everything, but being ready to learn what you need to learn. And even that is part of your process because you are who you are until you're not. But change is your
yeah,
birthright. And every day, when you start thinking about your purpose on how you want to change and how you're going to change and how you're going to develop and build and be, that is your birthright. And that should
yeah.
not be distracted. That should be sacred. That's yours. And you should get to share who you want to share
Well,
that with.
once again, it goes back to knowing who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You have to, even if you don't know, you have to make it so. You are a king. You were born from kings.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Therefore, kings, certain activities are beneath the um, the countenance of a king. You know, when you said men, we don't know everything. I'm a student of life. I learn every day. Like you said, when you stop learning, you die.
Mm.
It's not about knowing everything. It's having the company around you having everything that you need. It's your team. You don't know. I have older men as my team. I got older ladies as my team. Whoever you make a part of your team, that's who you value their word. That's who you value their help, their instruction, and even their healing. And if you're not around those types of people, you need to change your atmosphere.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that takes courage. It takes courage to
Sure.
change. It takes courage to evolve. It takes courage to even admit that you are a king or that you are a queen. It takes courage to take ownership on your life. It takes courage to surrender. It takes courage to be. And when we're able to meet, come in contact with, read about, witness, create even courageous individuals, oh, what a gift we
Yeah.
are giving to this world.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's,
Heal yourself
it's,
first.
it's a gift.
It's the highest form of
Yes. Then go
leadership.
heal your brother.
Heal yourself
That's it.
first. It's
And
the
what the scripture
highest form of leadership. What was that?
and the and the scripture says, once when you have healed yourself, go and heal your brother.
Mmm. Mmm.
But you got to heal first.
You gotta heal
So we
first.
got work to do. So it doesn't stop with you. It starts with you. It doesn't stop with you.
Yeah. So I think that's a perfect opportunity to invite the listeners to reflect. What would your life look like if you gave yourself the care you give others? Let that marinate.
I dare say it'd be wonderful.
Oh,
It's wonderful.
yeah.
I know that's a sports spoiler alert. But sometimes but what person would refuse an umbrella in the middle of a storm?
mm, mm,
So the spoiler alert is just that. It's an umbrella, something you look forward to. I know when you're in the middle of a storm, you don't seem like you can't see nothing else because your vision is not is blurred, it's blocked by
yeah,
what's around you, what's in front of you, what's over top of you. But the rain don't always happen. The sun comes out at some point.
I love that. I love that. My brother, I think that's a perfect way to close this out. Any
I
other
like it.
plugs that you want to mention? Please let the folks know your socials and again, any upcoming projects.
Listen, I'm working currently on my biopic. Smart Guy is Alive. Um,
Hey,
talk about talk about my life, and I'm videotaping it and just traveling and meeting new people. I am on Instagram, Smart Guy Talks, uh, Facebook for older listeners. Sammy Washington, keep in touch. Shoot me a DM. I mean, if you've been reached by this message, and if you want to drop some encouragement, I'm all open for it. And I definitely will put up my shows. But December the 6th in Philly, 7 o'clock. Be there.
hey,
Thank you.
smart guy, thank you. I mean, I love how this came together. I love the vision. I love the idea, how this came about. I love your friendship. I love your wisdom. I love your journey.
Likewise,
And I
likewise, my
appreciate
brother.
your time, my brother. Definitely will do this again. Cheers to everything that you have coming up and going out. And to the listeners, stay disciplined, stay desirable, stay devoted to your evolution. This is Discipline and Desire. Peace.